And then once you've got point cloud and images loaded, there'll be information under these headings, and that's where we're going to go use the Salt engine for uploading that data. So to this point, we've created the project, we've set all the parameters, and now we're going to upload that data that we went through engine and prepped. We'll click upload with Salt engine. It'll open a new version of engine. And here on this data wizard is where we'll start to add those folders. So starting with point cloud, it has to be in that LAS format. That's why we have the utilities that if you need to convert something, it needs to be in that format first. So we'll add the point cloud.
I can add only LAS format or your other format too?
No, at this point it has to be an LAS. So if it wasn't, if the original data wasn't an LAS format, that's you'd go through engine and use the utilities to convert that. So if you've got an E57, you'd do the conversion E57 to LAS.
But directly not. I have to convert before.
That's right. Yep.
Okay.
So now I'll go into the folder. I'll find that LAS file. I'll click on it and open it. It's found one point cloud. I'll add it. So now this is a pretty small point cloud, so it's adding it quickly. But while this was loading, if it was a large file, we could still hit next and go to the cameras. Again, I'm going to add a folder of images here. So select those. There's 78 images in this folder, so I'll add those. These are Ladybug panoramics that are being loaded here. The important thing is the next step. The naming of these images has to match the CSV. So as that's uploading, I'll go to the next. And this is the final step, adding that orientation CSV. So let's add that. This one is called images. It's under the same folder. And when I click on that, it'll come up and say that I've got 78 files that are matched with the 78 images that were found. So if you had more or less images than are in the list in the CSV, it'll give you a different number. But that's what you're hoping to see, is that they're matched. If it's 0 of some number, then you probably have some issue with your naming convention of the image. Then it says orientation required. So I'll hit edit details. And this just confirms that the X column is the X, the Y is the Y, the Z is the Z. If you don't use these same headings, maybe the X is your easting. So it would say easting column, and you would have to say that it's the X, and the northing is the Y, and elevation is the Z. So it's just easier if you use the X, Y, Z instead of northing, easting, elevation. But if that's the way that you save your files, you can do that as well. Okay. Likewise with the roll pitch yaw and the file name. And then down here at the bottom, obviously our application works with a number of different sensors, and some work in clockwise, some work in counterclockwise. This has to do with the way that the image is taken. So when the sensor starts taking the panoramic, if it goes in a clockwise direction, then you would pick clockwise. If you have a sensor that goes in a counterclockwise direction, you would pick that. Most the sensors that we work with go in a clockwise, unless someone set something specifically, set it different. We find most things go clockwise. Also, the default heading. This is where, at what point does the image start? And again, it could be default east, north, west, south. I'm pretty sure for the Tim's cart, it's by default east. But if you've changed that, you might have to go into here. And you're going to see when you load the data, if it's off by 90 degrees, in one direction, you probably just have to come change that.
Yeah, this is usually the part where people get the most confused while uploading data. So, yeah, again, if you need help, let us know. It's probably just an incorrect value, but yeah, yeah, sometimes you got to try a couple times. Once you figure it out for your sensor or your setup, it's usually the same thing over and over again for other projects.
Yeah, sure.
So we'll confirm that. And so now we don't have an error here. Our images are fully uploaded. Our point cloud's fully uploaded. So now we'll just hit submit that data, and data to be processed.
Perfect.
Uh,
Other files, yeah.
and so we'll process that. Now, there is the option at any point, say you had a new point cloud file and you just wanted to upload that, you could come back into here and just upload a point cloud. You don't have to have cameras and orientation. And the same, you could do a camera with orientation and not have point cloud. We have lots of clients who just have point cloud projects or just have image projects and they don't have both data sets. So this will work whether you've got all of them or just one. All right, I'll close this, close that. So now this will probably take a couple minutes to upload that data. So essentially it's taking the data that's on my desktop, it's throwing it up in the Amazon cloud, and then Amazon's gonna reconnect it back to the project, and we'll be able to look at it here in a second.
Depends on the network and even for the data.
Yeah, the network and the size of the data. I mean, this is a pretty small project, so it probably won't take too long. The thing is that I'll get an email that says that my images have been uploaded, and I'll get an email that says my point cloud has been uploaded once that happens. So you don't have to sit around and wait for it. You'll get an email saying the project is now ready. Here's the link to it. So
yeah, and this can take somewhere between 5 minutes to several hours, depending on the size of the point cloud.
Yeah,
so
sure.
just keep that in mind.